We are going to go to story time a little bit for day 96. This comes from, and I've referenced him before, Alex Hermazi. And he is a business leader, and he makes a lot of interesting videos and posts on like LinkedIn and YouTube, thought-provoking stuff. So the story I'm about to tell, he posted, and I think this plays in the business world, in people's personal lives, and in the spiritual world as well. So it goes like this. A merchant owned a ship that sprang a small leak. The repair would cost him 1 month's profit. I'll fix it next quarter, he decided, taking on more cargo instead. The leak grew. Now repairs would cost 6 months' profit. I'll fix it next year, he reasoned, taking even more cargo to make up for the lost speed. By year's end, the ship could barely stay afloat. Repairs would cost everything he had. I can't afford to stop now, he thought, mortgaging his home to add yet more cargo. The ship sank. Standing on the shore, a wise trader told him, the best time to fix a problem is when you first realize it's bad. The second best time is now. I mean, it's no secret, a lot of these videos that I do, they're so similar, and the tone of the message is the same in some of them. But if you remember back to any of these, I'll list two of them right now. One is a stitch in time saves 9. That, hey, if you notice something needs replaced, that stitch right there, if you do it in time, it's going to save 9 more down the road. That's the same exact message as this. So I think I did that video maybe 7 weeks ago now. I can't remember. Another video, it was early on, was the best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago. The second best time's today. Same kind of quote there. But what is the tone of those messages? Because I love this one today. Again, it's the best time to fix a problem is when you first realize it's bad. The second best time is now. We have things in our lives, in our spiritual lives, in our physical lives, in our relational lives with others, where we if we really take that inventory, we know we should probably address X, Y, and Z. But if it's not pressing, and if you don't have like a boss like we do at work, where they're breathing down maybe your neck and telling you to do this task or to change this thing, if you don't have that, because again, with our personal lives, you are the general. You are the general of your life. You are the boss. Yet you also have to take the boss's orders because, again, we've talked about that. You are the troop as well. But as the general, it's easy to say, hey, you know what? We're just going to kick the can with this thing. Like, you know what? I don't feel like talking to them yet. So you can kind of kick the can on that relational problem. Or, you know what? I feel like eating just the nachos and cheese today. Or I feel like eating that ice cream that's in the fridge. So I'm not going to change anything. We're just going to fix it next week. Or, yeah, I need to get back in the gym, but today I just had a busy day, so I'm not going to do it. You can kick the can, but just like this example is, it starts out as a 1 month problem, then 6 months, and then an entire year, and then after that, the entire ship sinks. I just don't want to live a life where I think back years, years down the road, man, I just wish I would have addressed that thing in the moment. How much further would I be along? Such good advice, man. I think that plays with every aspect of our lives. Again, relationally, physically, and especially spiritually. Don't make decisions today that lead you such down a dark path that your habits and your mind is dark. And not that it's unrecoverable, but it's going to be harder to want to lean back into God and lean back into what is good when you are in such a habitual pattern of sin. So, having said that, we're going to go back to the book of Ephesians today and back to chapter 4, actually. We're going to read verses 31 and 32. I'm going to read out of the NLT. It says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you. I think I've referenced those verses before in these videos, but the one thing I guess that doesn't relate between this scripture and the quote today or the story is it's not putting a timetable of like, do it at this moment. But what I draw from these words is like, again, get rid of all bitterness, all rage, all anger, all harsh words and slander. Like, wipe the slate clean. And that's very convicting words. And it's hitting on a brash or a bunch of topics, a large range of topics that we struggle with in this life. And again, I insinuate from those verses, like, don't wait, but do it today as day one. Don't wait until one day, but get rid of all the bad, but instead be kind to each other, tenderhearted, forgiving one another. And why and how are we able to do all that? As it says in those last few with those last few words there, it's because of God through Christ, which has forgiven us. So that's what I got today. Don't wait. Just as the ship example, it goes from 1 to 6 months to a year to unrecoverable. And I think these words in the scripture here in Ephesians 4, just encouragement, is like, don't wait, but instead get rid of all of the bad, wipe the slate clean, forgive yourself, forgive one another. And we're able to do that because of God who has forgiven us through Christ. That's day 96.